JBN, we keep you informed. Gregory Park shooting leaves man dead, other hospitalized. The police are probing the killing of a man and the injuring of another in Gregory Park, Portmore, St. Catherine on Monday. The deceased has been identified as Richard Williams of Gregory Park. Reports are that about 8:30 p.m., Williams and another man were in the community when two vehicles were reportedly driven up. Men alighted from the vehicles and shot both men before escaping. The injured men were taken to the hospital where Williams died and the other man was admitted in serious condition. Suspect arrested following murder of senior citizen in Manchester. Detectives in Manchester have arrested a man in relation to the murder of 63-year-old Pansford Thompson at his home in New Green in the parish on Tuesday. They say the suspect was picked up in New Green yesterday. It is reported that about 8:40 p.m., Thompson was in an altercation with a family member when a knife was used to stab him multiple times. The police were alerted and Thompson was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Decomposed male body found in St. Thomas. The St. Thomas police are investigating the discovery of a decomposed body believed to be that of a missing man in a swamp along Blue Maho Close Prospect on Tuesday morning. Relatives suspect that the body is that of a 27-year-old laborer of Prospect Village in the parish. The man who was reported missing on Saturday, January 4, was said to have last been seen alive about noon on Christmas Day 2019. The police say that a DNA test is to be conducted to identify the deceased. It is reported that about 8 o'clock Tuesday morning, a resident was walking in the swamp area of Blue Maho in Prospect when he stumbled on the decomposed body. The police say the remains were found some 200 yards from the main road and was clad in a red sweater and dark-colored pants. According to the police, the body was decomposed beyond recognition. Relatives, however, stated that they recognized the clothes found with the body. Cop found guilty of promising murder witness cash for a statement. A St. Catherine policeman who allegedly promised to pay a potential witness $30,000 for a statement to be used in a murder probe was convicted of corruption charges on Monday. Detective Constable O'Neill Barrett, who was charged for perverting the course of justice and attempting to solicit money in breach of the Corruption Prevention Act, is to be sentenced in the St. Catherine Parish Court on March 6. The charges against him stem from a 2016 murder case which he was probing at the time. During her summation, presiding senior parish court judge Tara Reid Carr told the 38-year-old cop that there was strong evidence that showed he had the intention to pervert the course of justice by approaching the potential witness and promising to get $30,000 from family members of the deceased to secure her statement. Among the materials that were tendered as evidence were several WhatsApp messages which were sent by Barrett, which were retrieved by the police cybercrime unit. Barrett had his bail extended until his sentencing date. The allegations were that in November 2016, the supposed witness in the murder case had decided not to give a statement to Barrett. The officer, however, reportedly promised cash for the statement. He then approached the family of the murdered victim and demanded $30,000 from them to pay for the witness statement. The matter was subsequently reported to the police, and following a probe and a ruling from the Director of Public Prosecutions DPP, Barrett was taken into custody and charged. Cop gets life imprisonment. Co-convict sentenced to 7 years for killing Kingston man. One of two police constables from the now disbanded Mobile Reserve Division, who together shot a central Kingston man 9 times in his backyard, will be out of prison in less than 7 years. Christabel Smith was on Tuesday sentenced to 6 years and 10 months in prison by High Court Judge Georgina Fraser, nearly 2 months after a jury found him guilty of manslaughter for the 2009 killing of Omar Marshall. Gareth Davis, the other cop who was convicted of murder, was given the mandatory life sentence and ordered to serve 15 years before he becomes eligible for parole. By a majority decision, Davis was convicted of murder, while Smith was found guilty of manslaughter by a 7-member jury in the gun court in downtown Kingston. Prosecutor Andrea Martin Swaby led evidence at the trial that Marshall was shot 9 times inside his yard at 16 Blake Road on October 9, 2009. Gun court cases are closed to the public. According to evidence presented during the trial, the 2 cops were part of a police team that went to the premises under the supervision of a superintendent. Eyewitnesses reportedly testified that Marshall was urinating at the fence in his front yard when 4 cops, including Smith and Davis, held him and dragged him to the back of the premises where he was shot by the convicted policeman. One eyewitness reportedly insisted that Marshall did not have anything in his hands when he was shot and said he told the police he was preparing to go to the airport to meet his mother. The cops told him that his mother was coming to bury him before they each shot him, the witness reportedly testified. The policemen claimed in their defense that they were on patrol in the area when they saw Marshall, who they did not know before, running from the roadway to premises on Blake Road. They said they chased him to the back of the premises, where he turned to face them with a gun in his hand. Both cops acknowledged that they fired in self-defense. A gun, which was said to be in Marshall's hand at the time, was handed over by the cops, a claim which was reportedly refuted by witnesses. More protection for children along Holland Bamboo Avenue. Road safety infrastructure installed at a section along Holland Bamboo Avenue, St. Elizabeth, has been effective in better safeguarding the lives of residents living in the area. Principal of Holland Primary School, Simone Doctor, said the amenities have been particularly beneficial to students at the institution. Anything that has to do with school development and the development of the children, I am always on board. So all of the amenities and facilities that have been put in place, the children are utilizing, and they are keeping them safe all around, Doctor said. The road safety infrastructure includes a small bridge, sidewalks, lay-bys, and the school safety and speed limit signs. They were installed as part of the 2019 Labor Day activities, where Holland Primary School was among 4 institutions selected as national projects by the Labor Day Secretariat. The children are appreciative because they know it is an exact location for them to stand. So where the sidewalks are, that is where they stand to take vehicles, Doctor explained. The speed sign has been posted, and right now it is 30 kilometers per hour. Also, rumble strips have been installed on either side of the pedestrian crossing. So those rumble strips would give the drivers warning to say that you're coming up on a pedestrian crossing, so slow down. The principal said that some sheds at the lay-bys would be welcome additions to further benefit the school and the community. One resident, Marsha Wilson, said that the community is grateful for the road safety infrastructure. We feel very good because a long time we want it, she said, noting that she also has a son and a niece attending Holland Primary School. Before it was very chaotic because the children never had any sidewalk, so we are glad we get the sidewalks. Hundreds of vehicles go unstopped at security checkpoint. For nearly 3/4 of an hour on Tuesday, nearly 300 vehicles were able to drive freely through a police military checkpoint mounted at the intersection of Chisholm Avenue and O'Mara Road as part of the state of emergency SOE across the St. Andrew South Police Division. This unfolded around midday, while police and military personnel deployed there were either seated in a tent erected on Ricketts Avenue or standing at the checkpoint on Chisholm Avenue. It was not as easy for motorists driving through the checkpoints established on Waltham Park Road near Agley Park Road or on Olympic Way near Seaward Drive over separate 15-minute periods. Police and soldiers at both locations searched 70 of the 178 vehicles that went through, in some cases requesting to see vehicle documentation. St. Andrew South is one of 6 police divisions where the government, on the advice of the heads of the security forces, has imposed SOEs. Last year, a total of 166 persons were killed in communities that fall within the St. Andrew South Police Division, the highest of the 19 divisions island-wide. On Monday night, the division recorded its first double murder of 2020 when gunmen invaded the home of a common-law couple a short distance from the SOE checkpoint on Chisholm Avenue. Residents reported hearing 3 loud explosions around 10:30 p.m., but it was not until shortly after daybreak on Tuesday that they discovered the bodies of Valda Ellis, 56, and Robert Gordon, 54, both shot in the head execution style. Their hands and feet were bound with cords, according to a neighbor who identified himself only as Dennis, According to him, Gordon's mouth was covered with tape. "We didn't even hear a groan, not a sound," said one woman. Ellie's youngest daughter, Tashka Davis, was inconsolable, describing her mother as hardworking and kind. "She always a try to do something. She always a try," said Davis. A soldier at one of the checkpoints said that they are not required to search every vehicle. "It is not profiling, but there are certain things that we look for," he said, explaining the basis on which vehicles are flagged for searches. "You have people taking JUTC buses and the Knutsford Express and think we don't know them." By 12:01 p.m., some 73 vehicles, including a Toyota Probox motor car with no license plates, had gone through the checkpoint, while members of the security forces sat under a tent around the corner on Ricketts Avenue. At 12:02 p.m., a team of police and soldiers took up position at the checkpoint, but it was not until 12:26 p.m. or 217 vehicles later that they checked the first car, a grey Suzuki Swift followed by a Honda Stream. "Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you roll down your windows?" a policeman asked the driver of the Honda. She complied. After peering inside the vehicle, he instructed her to proceed. By contrast, 95 cars went through the checkpoint on Waltham Park Road between 12:41 p.m. and 12:56 p.m., and the 29 were searched by the team of police and the soldiers who had taken up position in the middle of the busy thoroughfare. Since they have been deployed there, according to one member of the Jamaica Defense Force, 2 wanted men have been apprehended. In addition, he said their presence has improved public order in an area overrun by taxis and other public passenger vehicles. One coaster bus driver stopped and complained that there were some men on the bus who were refusing to pay their fares. A JUTC driver also stopped and asked us to check out some men who were on his bus, he disclosed. By 1:11 p.m. and 1:26 p.m., some 83 vehicles went through the checkpoint on Olympic Way, 41 of which included a truck loaded with pre-mixed cement, were searched by security personnel standing in the middle of the roadway. The utility of checkpoints has been a hotly debated topic since the first, in a slew of recent SOEs, was implemented in January 2018 in St. James and extended across the island. Most checkpoints, particularly in the corporate area, have been sited at nodes that do not restrict criminals from using a variety of alternative routes to evade security personnel. The SOEs, which suspend many civil rights and allow for long detentions without charge, has had mixed success, while the majority of police divisions, like Westmoreland and Clarendon, have recorded a dip in violent crime. Others, such as St. James and St. Andrew South, continue to be dogged by bloodshed. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.